There are exactly 6 levels of money, and the level you're living at right now is almost certainly the level you'll die at, unless someone shows you the door out. At the top sits level 6, the untouchable. Men who cannot be fired, cannot be pressured, cannot be bought, because their money answers to no one. You are not there yet. Almost no one is. But here's what Machiavelli understood, that your bank never will. The difference between the levels is not how much you earn, it's what your money is loyal to. Most men spend their entire lives trapped between level 2 and level 3, performing wealth while owning nothing, and they never even realize there's a ladder. By the end of this, you'll know exactly which level you're standing on. And most of you are going to be uncomfortable with the answer. Here is the lie that has kept you on your current level for years, maybe your whole life. They told you that money is about the number, that if the income goes up, the freedom goes up with it, automatically, and the goal is simply more. So you've spent your life chasing a bigger number, and every time you got one, the freedom you were promised didn't arrive. The raise came, and so did the bigger expenses. The better job came, and so did the tighter leash. You climbed, and the ceiling climbed with you, and no one ever told you that you were climbing the wrong ladder entirely, one where the number goes up while your actual position never changes. You didn't find this video by accident. Some part of you already suspects the truth, that you could double your income tomorrow and still be exactly as trapped as you are today, because the trap was never the size of the number. And by the end of this, you'll understand the mechanism your bank, your employer, and the entire economy need you to never see. The thumbnail asks which level traps you. That's not rhetorical. There is a specific level where the majority of ambitious men get caught and quietly die, feeling wealthy the entire time, and you need to know before I finish whether it's yours. Understand what Machiavelli is telling you, because it is the entire key to the ladder. He watched rich states get conquered and poor states endure, and he reached a conclusion that bankrupts the modern obsession with the number. Gold by itself is not power. Gold is only as strong as what stands behind it. A treasury with no loyal foundation is just a target. It makes you worth robbing, not hard to rob. Translate that out of war and into your life. Your income by itself is not freedom. Your income is only as strong as what it's loyal to. And for most men, their money is loyal to everyone except them. Loyal to the landlord, the lender, the image they're performing, the lifestyle they can't stop feeding. They have gold and no soldiers, a big number and no foundation. And the moment pressure comes, they discover they never owned any of it. That distinction, not how much your money is, but who it answers to, is the difference between every level you're about to see. So here's what this is, plainly. This is dark psychology applied to wealth, the cold study of how money actually creates power and dependency beneath the motivational story you've been sold. I'm going to walk you up all 6 levels of money, and I'm going to show you the exact one where most ambitious men get trapped while feeling rich. I'm going to give you the hard reversal, the reason a man with a high income and a luxury car can be on a lower level than a quiet man who earns half as much. And I'm going to warn you about the shadow of the top itself, where the pursuit of being untouchable turns a man into the most owned creature of all. By the end, you'll know your level honestly, and you'll know the specific door out of it. If these ideas resonate with you, hit that subscribe button for more top-tier content. Also, drop a sovereign in the comments so I know you're ready. Let's dive in. Level 1, the bottom. Here your money is loyal to the emergency, and the emergency always arrives first. At this level, every dollar is spoken for before it lands. The money comes in and it is already gone, claimed in advance by the rent, the minimum payment, the thing that broke, the crisis that was always right on schedule. You don't own money at level 1, you handle it briefly on its way to someone else. It passes through your hands like water through a fist, and no matter how tightly you close them, the flow never stops moving outward. There is no cushion, so there is no gap between you and catastrophe. One bad week, one lost shift, one broken down car, and the whole structure shakes. Here's the psychological trap of level 1 that keeps men stuck in it, and it's crueler than the money itself. Living inside a permanent emergency destroys your capacity to think past the emergency. When your entire nervous system is consumed by this week's survival, you cannot plan for next year, cannot take the risk that would change your trajectory, cannot invest a single hour or dollar into a future that feels imaginary when the present is on fire. Poverty is not just a lack of money. It's a tax on your attention, a fog that keeps you reacting so relentlessly you never get the mental space to build the thing that would end the reacting. But understand what actually defines level 1. Because it's not the income figure, it's the loyalty. A man earning very little, who has clawed out even a small buffer, who has bought himself 1 month of breathing room, has already begun to leave level 1, because his money is no longer 100% loyal to the emergency. And here is the first door, the only one that opens at this level. The entire game of level 1 is to manufacture a gap, any gap. The first buffer between you and the crisis is not about the amount. It's about breaking the emergency's total claim on your money so that for the first time, some small piece of what you earn answers to you instead of to the next disaster. That first owned dollar is the beginning of everything, because the level directly above it is where most men escape the fire and walk straight into a far more seductive trap. Level 2, and this is the one you need to watch most closely, because this is where the majority of ambitious, capable, hard-working men get caught, and it is designed to feel like success the entire time. At level 2, your money is loyal to your image. You've escaped the raw emergency, the income has grown, and now the money flows almost automatically toward the performance of wealth, the car that signals status, the watch, the clothes, the address, the lifestyle that tells everyone watching that you've made it. You are, in the most precise sense, performing wealth while owning nothing. The luxury car is leased, the lifestyle is financed, the image is real, and the foundation beneath it is air. You look, to everyone including yourself, like a man on his way up. You are actually a man running on a treadmill that speeds up every time you do. Here's the uncomfortable truth, and this is the discomfort the thumbnail promised, so don't look away from it. A high income is not a level, it's a number. And a man can have a very high income and be trapped on level 2. One missed paycheck from collapse, owning no asset that produces anything, his entire visible wealth, a costume he's making monthly payments to rent. The doctor with the big house and the bigger debt, the executive whose lifestyle requires the exact salary he's terrified of losing. These men feel wealthy, they are performing wealth beautifully, and they are, structurally, barely above level 1 because their money is loyal to their image, and an image produces nothing, owns nothing, and vanishes the instant the income stops. They didn't buy freedom, they bought a more expensive cage and decorated the bars. Sit in this because some of you just felt the floor move. The reason you don't feel free despite earning more than you ever have is that every increase in income went straight into an increase in performance. You gave yourself a raise and immediately handed it to your image. And the image is a bottomless creditor. It always wants the next tier, the newer model, the better address, because its entire function is to signal more forever. This is the trap Machiavelli would recognize instantly. You have gold and no soldiers. A big number loyal to everyone but you. The door out of level 2 is the hardest psychological move in the entire ladder, which is exactly why so few make it. You have to be willing to look less wealthy than you are. To let the money that was performing your status go quiet and start building your foundation instead. To drive the car that doesn't impress anyone while you accumulate the thing that can't be seen. Almost no one can do it because it requires surrendering the applause of everyone still trapped on level 2 with you. And their applause is the exact drug keeping you there. Which is why most men, unable to pay that price, slide sideways into a level that feels like the answer and is actually a gilded dead end. Level 3, stability. And this is the most comfortable trap ever built, which makes it the most dangerous. At level 3, your money is loyal to your comfort. You've stopped performing, you got tired of the treadmill, or wise enough to step off it. You have a real cushion now. Savings. A stable, well-paying job. A life that no longer shakes when a tire blows. From the inside, this feels like arrival, like the mature and responsible destination, and compared to levels 1 and 2, it is genuinely better. You're safe, you sleep at night. And that safety is precisely the trap, because the money at level 3 is loyal to keeping you exactly where you are. Here's the mechanism, and it's the reason Machiavelli warned that dependence is a leash, no matter how comfortable the collar. At level 3, your entire stable life rests on a single source. The job, the salary, the one income stream that makes it all work. Which means you can never fully act on your own judgment, never risk the thing that could actually free you, because the whole structure depends on keeping that one source happy. You've traded the raw fear of level 1 for a subtler, quieter fear, the fear of losing the comfortable thing. And that fear makes you obedient. You take the treatment you wouldn't take if you weren't dependent. You swallow what you'd never swallow if you had another foundation. This is the golden handcuff, a cage so comfortable you decorate it and call it a life. Held shut by the one thing you're most afraid to lose. The reason level 3 is where men die, where the ladder ends for most who make it this far, is that comfort kills the motive to climb. Levels 1 and 2 at least generate pain, and pain drives movement. Level 3 removes the pain, and with it, the reason to ever risk anything again. The man at level 3 has just enough to lose that risking it feels insane, and just enough comfort that staying feels reasonable. And so he stays, for 30 years, for life, telling himself he's being responsible while his one dependency quietly owns his every major decision. He is not free, he is comfortably owned. And the door out is a cold one because it requires you to voluntarily disturb your own comfort, to take the stable surplus you worked so hard for and deploy it into something that could fail, when everything in you is screaming to protect the peace you finally earned. That's the crossing almost no one makes, to look at hard-won safety and decide it's a foundation to build from, not a destination to die in. Because everything below level 4 is a variation on the same condition. Your money serving someone else, or serving your image, or serving your fear. Level 4 is where that finally structurally reverses. Level 4, and this is the great divide of the entire ladder. The line that separates every level below from every level above. Because at level 4, for the first time, your money stops serving other people and starts serving you. Here's the shift, stated as plainly as I can. Below level 4, you work for money. You sell your time, your labor, your presence, and money comes in exchange. At level 4, money begins to work for you. You take the surplus you've refused to spend on performance and refused to let rot in fearful comfort, and you convert it into assets, things that produce, ownership that generates, money that makes money while you sleep, while you eat, while you do nothing at all. This is the moment the fundamental relationship inverts. You stop being the engine and start building engines. And the first time you earn $1, you did not trade an hour of your life for. Something in your understanding of the world permanently changes. You've seen with your own eyes that money can be loyal to you. This is depth psychology as much as it is finance, because the barrier to level 4 is almost never mathematical. It's psychological. Reaching it requires delayed gratification most men cannot tolerate. The discipline to take money you could enjoy right now and lock it into something that pays off invisibly, slowly, years from now. It requires you to value a future you can't see over a pleasure you can feel today. The man trapped below level 4 isn't necessarily earning too little. He's consuming everything he earns, whether on survival, image, or comfort, and leaving nothing to convert into an engine. The turn to level 4 is made by the man who develops the ruthless discipline to underspend his income on purpose and deploy the difference into ownership over and over, while everyone around him spends theirs on the performance. And notice what this does to your psychology, because the internal shift is as important as the financial one. The moment even a small piece of your money is working for you, you are no longer entirely dependent on selling your time. And that partial independence changes how you stand, how you negotiate, how much you're willing to tolerate. A man with assets, however modest, cannot be pressured the way a man with none can, because he is no longer 100% reliant on the single source. He has begun, in the smallest way, to answer to himself, which is the entire direction of the two levels that remain, the levels almost no one reaches, where that partial freedom becomes total. Level 5. Freedom. This is the level most people, if they even know the ladder exists, imagine as the summit. And it's extraordinary, but it is not the top, and the difference between it and the top is the most important thing you'll learn today. At level 5, your money is loyal to your time, and it has bought all of it back. Your assets, the engines you spent years building at level 4, now produce enough to cover your entire life without you having to sell a single hour. You no longer work because you must. The dependency is broken. If you never earned another dollar of labor income again, your life would continue exactly as it is, funded by ownership that runs whether you show up or not. This is what most people mean when they say financial freedom, and it is a genuine and rare achievement. You have converted money into the only truly non-renewable resource, which is time, and reclaimed your own hours from the market. Understand the psychological transformation this produces, because it's profound. When you no longer need the income from any particular source, every relationship in your life gets renegotiated in your favor without you saying a word. You work with people because you choose to, not because you're trapped. You can walk away from anything, any deal, any client, any arrangement that disrespects you, because your survival is no longer attached to it. The Stoics understood that the man who needs nothing from you cannot be controlled by you, and level 5 is where that becomes literal. Your freedom isn't an attitude anymore. It's a balance sheet. You've made yourself structurally unpressurable through the one source that used to own you, the need to earn. But here is why level 5 is not the top, and it's a distinction the wealthy themselves often miss. Freedom at level 5 can still be fragile. Your engines might all depend on one system, one currency, one market, one arrangement. Freedom that evaporates if that single foundation cracks. You've bought back your time, but your independence still rests on something outside your control. You are free the way a man in a house is warm, genuinely, but only as long as the one furnace keeps running. Level 5 frees you from needing to work. It does not yet make you untouchable. That final distinction between a freedom that can be disrupted and an independence that answers to no one is the whole of level 6, and it's where we go now. Level 6, the top, the untouchable. And now that you've climbed the whole ladder, you can finally understand what the very first words of this video actually meant At level 6, your money is loyal to nothing but you and your own will, and it is structured so that no single person, institution, market or pressure can take it or use it to control you. This is beyond freedom. Freedom at level 5 means you don't have to work. Untouchability at level 6 means you cannot be moved. You cannot be fired because you don't depend on any employer. You cannot be pressured because your foundation isn't resting on any one thing that could be threatened. You cannot be bought because there is nothing you need badly enough to be purchased with. Your wealth is diversified, distributed, and deliberately arranged so that no enemy, no downturn, no betrayal has a single lever long enough to move you. This is what Machiavelli meant by building on your own arms, taken to its financial conclusion. A foundation so entirely your own that it answers to no one. And here's the part that will surprise you, the signature of real level 6 that separates it from every performance below. It is almost always quiet. The men on level 6 are, as a rule, invisible. They don't perform their wealth. Performance is level 2, and they left it decades ago. They understand what level 2 never will, that visible wealth is a target and a leash, that the loud rich are advertising both their money and their dependence on being seen to have it. True untouchability is stealth. It's the man who looks unremarkable and cannot be touched versus the man who looks untouchable and is one bad quarter from collapse. The quietest man in the room is very often the most powerful, precisely because he has nothing to prove and everything to protect. And he knows that the first rule of keeping power is not showing its full size. But now I have to give you the reversal that saves level 6 from becoming the worst trap of all. Because there is a shadow at the top, and it destroys more powerful men than poverty ever will. The pursuit of being untouchable can become its own master. A man can become so obsessed with more security, more insulation, more untouchability, that money stops being the tool and becomes the point. And at that moment, he is no longer sovereign over his wealth. He is owned by it, more completely than the man on level 1, because at least the poor man knows he's not free. The man who has enough to be untouchable 10 times over and still cannot stop, still sacrifices his health, his relationships, his years, to a number that will never feel like enough. That man built the fortress and then locked himself in the dungeon. Wealth that owns you is not level 6, it's level 1 with a bigger number and a better disguise. So here is the guardrail you must install, or the entire ladder betrays you at the summit. Level 6 is not the accumulation of the largest possible number. It is the achievement of a specific structural condition, enough arranged correctly that no one can control you, held by a man who remains the master of his money rather than its servant. The point was never the gold, the point was the sovereignty. And a man who forgets that climbs all 6 levels only to discover he brought the trap with him the entire way. So let's count the ladder you've just climbed and you find your honest level as I do. Level 1, the emergency, your money loyal to the crisis. Level 2, the performance, your money loyal to your image, the trap where most ambitious men die feeling rich. Level 3, the golden handcuff, your money loyal to a comfort that quietly owns you. Level 4, the turn, where money first begins working for you instead of the reverse. Level 5, freedom, where your time is bought back and you can no longer be pressured through your need to earn. And level 6, the untouchable, where your money answers to nothing but your own will, held quietly by a man who owns it instead of being owned by it. Now hear the truth the whole video was built to deliver. The number was never the level. 2 men with identical incomes can stand on completely different rungs because the level was never how much your money is. It was always what your money is loyal to. The man performing wealth on a 6-figure salary is beneath the quiet man building engines on half of it. The comfortable man with the stable job and the golden handcuff is beneath the disciplined man deploying his surplus into ownership. You do not climb this ladder by earning more. You climb it by changing, level by level, who your money answers to, dragging its loyalty away from the emergency, away from your image, away from your fear, and toward the only master it was ever supposed to serve, you. And understand what reaching the top actually makes you. Not rich exactly, untouchable. A man who cannot be fired, pressured, or bought, who moves through a world of dependent men with the specific calm of someone no single force can control. The world will feel that in you long before it understands it, and it will reach for the nearest word. They'll call it confidence. They won't know it was every disciplined year of dragging your money's loyalty back to yourself that built it. So if this landed, if you found your real level honestly, even the uncomfortable ones, and you finally see the door out of it, comment the word sovereign, not as a boast, as a marker in time, the moment you stopped chasing a bigger number and started changing what your money is loyal to. And if you want to keep climbing from here, deeper into Machiavellian strategy, the psychology of money, and the real architecture of power that can't be taken, then subscribe, because this is the only place that treats wealth as sovereignty to be engineered, not a lifestyle to be performed. This is the room for the men building something no one can touch. Picture it, a few years from now, already true. The men still performing on level 2 will look at your quiet life and assume you never made it. The men comfortable on level 3 will call you reckless for disturbing your peace to build. And you'll feel almost nothing, because you stopped needing their read on you the moment your money started answering to you alone. They'll see the freedom eventually and call it luck. You'll know it was loyalty, reclaimed one level at a time. And whatever you do, don't stop now. The on-screen video matters more than you think. What you've started building here has a next chapter, and you don't want to meet it unprepared. Trust me, I'll see you there. See what others miss. Know what others fear. Become who others can't.